Fuck off! You're right, well, that was a very good opening, thank you. Hello, welcome back to this week's episode of Quarantine Chats. We're still in quarantine. Yeah! Love it! So this week I decided to do another Q&A because I've not done a Q&A in... How long has it been? 7 years!
Hey.
Well, my intro's not got better. We're doing another Q&A today, and on my Instagram and on YouTube yesterday, I asked if you had any questions for me. There was a lot of bloody questions. The reason I'm doing this now is because I'm just doing so much at the minute, and I just thought I'd slow it down, take some time to myself, and answer any questions that you have. So don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, hit that ding-ling button, and let's get started. Before we start, I know every YouTuber does this ever, but if you really like my stuff, please hit that little ding-a-ling button, the little bell. I've got a new behind the scenes look of my new film coming out next week, and then the week after I've got the film coming out. Spiderman trailer 4 coming out, which will have the release date on it. Click the little button, the bell. Will you ever make a Spider-Man 3? It's definitely in consideration. The only thing, if we ever do a Spider-Man 3, the only thing I need to sort out is having a proper team for the visual effects. I have a proper crew for the film. And to be fair, me, Travis, and Alex say daily that we miss doing Spider-Man. So yeah, I mean, I would definitely consider doing a Spider-Man 3. I enjoy it. So yeah, it's 100% in consideration. Jax even just literally 10 minutes ago just said, hey dude, I have a really cool idea for Spider-Man 3. But I need a good VFX team. That is the thing. That's it. As soon as I get a good VFX team, I'll greenlight the idea in my head. Well, I mean, if you guys like Spider-Man 2, you guys haven't even seen it yet, so... Who is your favourite character in Spider-Man 2 Another World? 100% Jack, Eddie Brock. Is that not plugged in? I do also feel like there's a lot more stories we can tell with Eddie Brock. We originally had a series, which we never did because it was just way too much work, because Spider-Man 2 was bigger than we could ever have thought. If we make a third one, we'll 100% dive into. But yeah, Jack's Eddie Brock is 100% my favourite character. What is the runtime of Spider-Man 2 Another World? It's longer than Lost Cause, I'll tell you that. What's it like crossing your versions of Spider-Man's with Heath? Well, that was actually the whole premise of Spider-Man 2 Another World, but we couldn't fulfill it as much as we wanted to, so I decided to go on my own tangent. Yes, there is a segment where me and Heath cross over, and that was a surreal experience because it's something that we've been wanting to do ever since we worked on Lost Cause. And it was so beautiful to see our Spider-Man interact. And I'm excited for you guys to see it too. Mohammed.video. What is your favourite sports brand? Probably Nike, to be fair. I have a lot of J's. Fast Focus says, if you had the chance of working on any film or work with any directors, who would it be and why? Obviously Steven Spielberg, he's a god amongst men. And Matthew Vaughn, who's the Jesus amongst men. Film-wise, I've said this a few times now on my social media, that I would love to direct a Land Before Time reboot. Now, Land Before Time is one of my biggest childhood memories. Still to this day, I love that film. I do feel like there's things that the film could improve on, story-wise, plot-wise. The act structure's all off towards the end act. The last act comes in so suddenly, and then you all decide to defeat the T-Rex. I do that completely differently. I feel like that's really out of character for all 5 characters. So many little things that I do to that film that I feel would really make it stand out from the original, but would also give it that same heart and same nostalgia factor. It's such a gorgeous film. The music alone is just incredible. That's the film I want to direct. Like, if someone ever remakes The Land Before Time, I do genuinely feel like I'd be disappointed, because I'd be like, oh, that's it, that's what I wanted to do. That's what I wanted to do. There's even a point where I mentioned it on social media, and I think Nate from Film Studios actually put a petition out to Anne Boleyn to get me to direct Land Before Time, and it was so sweet. And it got quite a few votes. It was amazing. Has anyone inspired you to do what you do now? No one's inspired me to be where I am now. People have inspired me to get to certain points in my life. Frank Patterson, Digital Soul, inspired me to start YouTube. I got inspired to be a filmmaker because my cousin was trying to be a filmmaker. She unfortunately died, so I tried to follow in her footsteps. I mean, Edgar Wright came out with amazing films, and I just wanted to learn how to edit like that. I found out another YouTuber, Tomska, went to university in Lincolnshire, And his videos are amazing. That's the kind of videos I wanted to make at that point. And that really inspired me to really push myself because, God, if he can do it, I can do it.
Chris, we have something to tell you.
And then Casey Neistat came up and inspired me to carry on. I watched about 4 people that really did motivate me to be where I am today. Inspiration at the minute is just, I guess, I'm really inspired by a vision of what I want my life to be like. That's my inspiration now. James Richard Hill says, what is your favourite film? My favourite film is pretty much stuck between The Great Gatsby, I love that film so much, and Stardust. I actually named my son after the main character. Talanta Draws says, what was the last movie you went to go see in the cinema? It was Jojo Rabbit. I loved it. It actually became one of my favourite films, definitely in my top 10. And you need to get it on Blu-ray, I think it's out now. Adrian B98 says, what got you into filming and editing? That's a really good question. I wasn't very good at anything in school. English, maths, science, PE, until my cousin said she was doing media. And I was like, oh, that sounds cool, I'll do that. And then got into a media class, fell over it instantly. And the first video I ever edited was me dancing to Closer by Neo. That was the first time I ever learned to edit. The worst video known to man. I've come a long way since then, I promise. I got into filming when my teacher, Darren Listerman, big up, said that we need to make a 5-minute short film. Judging by them rules, I ended up making a half-an-hour short film epic about zombies, which is actually on YouTube if you want to go check it. That was my first ever short film. I loved absolutely everything, and then from there it just went to a crazy hobby. And now it's my job. Bidey Rob Miles says, what is your favourite Spider-Man suit to wear? My favourite Spider-Man suit to wear is my own, as egotistical as that sounds. I love that suit. But I really, really want the PS4 Spider-Man suit. I would literally wear that daily if I had that. It's just the most beautiful looking. Link Tattoo Art says, what camera are you using? At the minute, I'm using the Blackmagic Pocket Camera 6K, and I can't imagine myself going anywhere else at the minute. I kind of love this camera. You can even control it through your phone. Let's do the iris. Oh. But it's so cool. My favourite project that I've been working on so far is probably Tyrannosaurus Secret Garden. Been in the works for a very long time. Every day was a struggle. Every day was a hard day. And that was great because it taught us all so much. Yeah, and that film's coming out very soon. I'm uploading the behind the scenes next week. It was amazing. It was such a fun... We created a whole blanket out of actual materials and tape. And it was huge. It was the biggest thing I've ever seen. Other than that, I'm really excited to start work on a musical called Songbirds that me and Jack have been writing. That to me is where my heart's at the minute. So this is my dream, right? My dream is to create a feature film, my own feature film. And to do that, I've had to create loads of different films within different genres. So I can go to the producers and say, look, I want to create this feature film, which is very different. It's going to be a film about every single genre. It's going to be a very meta film. So I've created a thriller, I've created a horror, I've created a musical, I've created a superhero film, I've created a World War II drama, I've created an animation, I've created a sci-fi, and I've done this so you know I can handle every single genre. So I'm proud that I've almost done this. That's what I'm proud of. I'm proud of every single project I've ever done, which will get me to this point, because that's what I'm working for. Ari Ellie Archer says, would you rather have 8 million followers on Instagram or find true love? I'd rather have 8 million followers. If someone forcibly comes in your life and says, I'm in love with you, I don't know if that is true love, but the fact that you can have 8 million followers can get you brand deals, can get you jobs, can get you a lot of money, you can sort your life out. The more followers you have, the better you look in the eyes of the consumer. I mean, I can find love at any point. Nate McInnes says, what is your advice to filmmakers that can't get access to indoors? I can't see why that's an issue. So this is how it works for me. I don't know if you've tried this or not, but I've never ever been able to not get access for indoors. In Spiderman, all I ever had to do is just go into a business. We had Firebug, which was a bar. We had Semantic, which was my workplace. Theatre, pub, we had a university, and we had car parks, huge like venue, and we had a green screen studio. All of these places said yes because they just love filmmaking and they just love people creating within their establishment. If you genuinely just ask someone who runs a business, who owns the building, yes, they can say no, 100%. I mean, like, sometimes they're too busy. But usually, in my personal experiences, they've said yes. There's a multi-million-pound company that I know called Everything Branded. All I had to do was just ask the manager and say, hey, is there any chance we can film within your office space? And he just said yes straight away. For one, it looks great on PR. And two, something for one, his staff to see. And two, something for him to put on social media. This is what our company is. We just help the local talent. And most businesses are amazing. They love that kind of stuff, man. They really do. Never say never, that's my advice. What is your most favourite and least favourite parts of the job? The least favourite is working with people that don't care about craft and are just out for ego. I have now worked with 3 people that have absolutely drained me to the core because I got, I'm not gonna say pushed into a project, sucked into a project because of their enthusiasm. But then you come to learn that the enthusiasm was there because they knew that at a certain point that they're going to be on the face of a poster or they're just going to have their name out there. I've helped various filmmakers create films and I've just left halfway through the project or near to the end because they just care about themselves, they don't care about the story, the crew, the cast, just they're in it for them. I just can't be a part of that. But it actually got to the point where it drained me because I just thought this industry is awful. But then you kind of figure out you work with people that you love, you work with people that also love the craft and brings you back up. The best part of the job is seeing a final product and seeing how everyone appreciates your final product. That is the most beautiful thing ever. But also during filming, when you're working as a team, working with your friends, working with new friends, it's the greatest feeling ever when you do something that's super hard and you do it because you're working together as a team. It's absolutely stunning. What are some of the biggest things you've learned since becoming a filmmaker? Authority and standing ground. That's probably like the biggest thing I've learned about being a filmmaker. You need to push yourself and you need to push others and you need to be pushed. So having people around you that can push you and that can learn off you and you can learn off them and you stand your ground when you know something's right or wrong. Take criticism, also give it. But to be fair, one of the biggest things I've ever learned is work with people better than you. Every day then you're learning, every question gets answered. Yeah, definitely. Work with people better than you. That's what I've learned. There's a few questions out there as well that have actually said, what is the best advice you can give for a filmmaker? Work with people better than you. That's my advice. There's nothing more important than that. Work with people better than you. Andy, one of the directors of 10, says, where in the world have you never been but always wanted to go? I've always wanted to go to New York. That's like a dream for me. Bora Bora. And number 3, Hawaii. I want to stand in the same place Alan stood. Yeah, that's what I want. That's where I want to go. If you could make a fan film about anyone else, who would it be? One character that I love more than anything, and he's from DC, and it's the Flash. I love the Flash. I just think he's such a cool character. He's just got such a cool superpower. Matthew asks, who is your favourite actor? Probably Jeff Goldblum and Benedict Cumberbatch. James Richard Hill says, what is the best way to start a filmmaking career? So the way I did it, I don't know if it was the best way, but the way I did it was, the first thing I did in uni, I just got loads of wedding jobs, tried to buy myself a camera, bought a camera, and then offered a lot of local companies promotional videos. Then during that I made Spiderman, and then out of uni I had a little managerial role at Semantic. Learned a lot of stuff there, learned most of my craft, my editing and my filmmaking skills there. Money to then head off on my own. Got my own client base, and then I just made films on the side. An opportunity came up about a year ago to make a distributed feature film. We did that. The way I did it is I just started off making free things for people. People started to love it, and then people started to pay for it. Do a few things free for some local companies. People see that you've done something for local companies, say that they paid you, give them a price, and then you'll get your first paid job. Alicia Tuesday says, can we do a shoot when the world opens up? Yes, 100%. I would love to work with you again. I also miss you. You're such a lovely friend. I appreciate you. Sam Cook 825 says, is it harder to make fan films rather than original films? No, but they both come with their ups and downs. Fan films are a lot easier to write because you know the character, and you're giving the character a certain twist on your own personality. Whereas original films, it's all original. So I guess like the world the character's in, the character's friends, family, the story beats are all original. So I guess in that sense, it's harder to create an original story. But on the other side, it's harder to create an original story around a character that's already been done 1,000 times. To be fair, I think they both have their own challenges. I see fan films and films the same anyway. It's like saying Christopher Nolan's Batman film's a fan film. It's not, it's a film. Why are you so sexy? Stop. Film Form Studio asks, what is your favourite role on a film set? 100% directing. I love directing more than anything in the world. That's what my passion is. Every now and again I love to step into acting, but directing is my passion. Jasmine says, who do you love more, Jazz or Mine? I feel like this is a test. I'm going to say Jazz. I don't know who Mine is. Skill Studio says, if you could have any actor to appear in any of your films, who would it be? Probably Ricky Gervais. I love him more than words could say. I think he's a genius. I think his way of life is just incredible. The way he thinks, the way he talks, the way he speaks, the way he acts. CDM asks, what is the hope for your audience to get out of your movies? The hope that so every time I go cinema, and this is what everyone says to me, everyone hates the taste of movies that I have. But every time I want to go to cinema, I want to go in, feel joyed, go on a roller coaster of emotions, come out and smile. People say that Marvel films are roller coaster films, theatre attractions, and that's exactly what I want people to feel when they watch my film. I want them to go on a roller coaster, I want them to strap in, do a loop-de-loop, scream, have so much fun, come out and be like, I want to do that again. That's pretty much what I want from my films. That's what I want people to feel when they go to my films. I really do. Spider Film says, are you staying healthy? Yeah? I told him I'll go really in depth on that, but I didn't. Nicholas Lemaster says, what's the legitimacy of fan films? And you have to put a disclaimer, yeah, 100%. You have to state that these fan films aren't your characters, which they're not. They're solely owned by a company. If it's anyone, if it's Spiderman, if it's Batman, you have to say it's owned by DC or Marvel, or it's created by Stan Lee and Steve Ditko. If someone made something of your work, you'd want them to say, hey, this is owned by... This is what I don't get, you're also not allowed to make money off the fan films, but I've seen so many people put ads on their fan films, so I don't know about that. I don't know about that. How do you feel knowing that you've impacted so many people? When people ask me this, I just can't answer. There is no right way of answering. There's no wrong way. I just don't know what to say. I get so many messages a day, still to this day, of that I've inspired people to make films, I've inspired people to create fan films, I've inspired people to create any sort of art. Genuinely the greatest feeling in the world, because being someone's inspiration is a scary thought. But knowing that people are out there being creative because of something that I did, it's heartwarming. There's no other word. It drives me to be a better person. It drives me to be a better content creator. It drives me to be a better person. Cannot describe the feeling I feel when someone says that. I genuinely can't. So Darius Harris says, it's a long question, so I won't read it all, but it's on the screen. Now, how do you keep yourself not being mentally drained and keep yourself on a path of screenwriting? That is a really tough question to answer, because my way of doing it is obviously very different to yours, but I stray very far from various concepts when I'm doing my films. With Spiderman to Another World, it started by, I wanted the main villain to be Morbius, and towards the end of it I wanted Spiderman to become a vampire. I scrapped it all within the third draft and started writing Another World. But what I do is I go outside, write, do a few pages, do another bit of work, come back, write another page, work, come back, write another page. What it is for me is I need to be in a really calm environment. I need a to-do list of what I need to be done today, and I need various scenes which I know I need to get for this act structure to be completed. Kind of do it as like a little to-do list. There's scene 1, scene 3, scene 5, scene 58, scene 10. And what I usually do as well, write the end first, go back, then write the beginning, go to the middle, and then just do bits and bobs. That's how I do it. And to keep chill, I just listen to music, go outside, have a tea. Yeah, I'm very different to quite a few people, so I don't know if the advice will help you. That's what I do. Right guys, there's quite a few more questions. They are the only ones I'm going to be doing for today, as this video is pretty long already. Look at that time code. So guys, I really appreciate asking these questions. I really hope I helped some people out today. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for asking the questions. Really appreciate every single one of you. Don't forget to hit that little bell button to be notified when I'm uploading. Again, I've got Tyrannosaur coming out, BTS episode coming out. I'm live streaming now. I'm live streaming Pokemon, so come and join. And Spiderman trailer 4 is coming out soon as well. So there's a lot to look forward to here on Digital Heart. Very looking forward to it all. Thank you all for watching. Comment, rate, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. That was long.